Hello all, this is Detective Norman Spencer coming at you with the short review because you know beforehand I did the long review with my friend Jarek and that was sort of the normal one, but now today we are going to do the short version because as you know I like doing the short videos for you and we get the good perspective, so whether we do it before or after, I guess it doesn't matter, but that's how we'll be able to do this again. But the short review is of, once again, the recent episode of 24, Season 1, Episode 7am to 8am. Basically, it starts out with where we left off last time, where Jack is headed to CTU, but before we get to that, we have Jonathan, let's see, bring that up here too, I didn't have that already, stole my pages. I apologize. Oh, here we go. Let's see, because they had his whole name. Oh, yes. Jonathan Matajevic, who is subbing as the dead photographer, Martin Belkin. And he's getting ready, putting in contacts, getting the whole disguise on, making sure he looks like Martin Belkin, and he leaves the compound. All the while, we have Jack Bauer basically heading to CTU with Ira Gaines at his heels. Ira Gaines yelling at him the whole way. He, tries to think of ways to get out of this. I was going to say Martin Belkin. Ira Gaines is on him the entire time, watching his every move through cameras and whatever we see. Also, Kim is still trying to convince Rick that, they need to escape. Rick is like, oh, Ira Gaines, just let me go. It's nothing big to worry about. All the meanwhile, Kim is still with Alan York, who we figure out later on. His name is Kevin Carroll, and she gets out of the car to run away, feigning sickness, and Kevin Carroll goes after her, only to be beaten in the head with a rock and temporarily captured by Terry Bauer, where Terry is trying to call for help the entire time. When Jack also gets back to CTU, he's charged with basically setting up two things. One, to replace the key card with a fake one, so CTU can't figure out anything from Division Base, or to find out who the shooter is. I said Division Base, but to figure out who the shooter is, that's the main thing. And also, he needs to set up priority clearance for the breakfast. He basically distracts Milo by dumping over his peanuts and getting the fake key card into his computer, setting that whole thing up. Nina takes a notice, and as Nina takes notice, she goes to confront Jack. Jack is trying to give her theories to have anything to get her out of the way. She doesn't buy it, so essentially Jack takes a hostage, puts a jacket on her to make it more believable that there is a confusing, because he's holding a gun underneath the jacket, and they exit CTU also under duress of Ira Gaines. To that same point, Terry's still trying to get a hold of CTU, and as she's trying to get a hold of CTU, she can't find Jack, she can't find Nina, so she gets a hold of Jamie. Jamie writes down Terry's location. CTU members get there awfully fast, and only to discover that they are Ira Gaines' men, not CTU men, and Terry is effectively kidnapped by Kevin Carroll and these men, and we figure out Jamie is an inside mole to the whole thing, and what a big, damper on the stuff that is. To the same point, we have Rick trying to talk to Ira Gaines that he's done and did everything he could. Ira Gaines is just being subtle about it, saying, you can stay more, do more work. There's still more stuff I need for you to do, so let's just get that done. Rick is scared, knowing that he's not going to be let go, so he tries to work together with Kim to work up an escape plan. They actually have a part where feigning, raping the prisoner, of course, from in front of one of the henchmen, whose name is Eli, who's played by Silas Real Mitchell, and also against all of the odds, they find a break in the prison detail to where Rick is digging underneath a loose spot of dirt in the fence to get her out of the compound. As she does, though, she sees her mother, Terry, being brought back in. She wants to stay for her because Terry is now with Ira Gaines and in danger. She doesn't want to leave her mother. Rick is a little upset by this, but what other choices effectively do they have? Because Kim did tell Rick to leave. Rick didn't want to leave her either, so there you go. Also, back with Jack and Nina, you have Ira Gaines trying to figure out how Jack can get rid of Nina, and what they can also do. But towards the end of the show, they're arguing with each other, setting the whole thing up. And before I get to that ending, I forgot, during this whole entire time, Senator Palmer talks with several members of his family about the upcoming breakfast. He talks with Keith, who's jogging on the way, saying he wants to make things right. Keith doesn't believe him and saying, you had your chance and you missed it. I'm not going to buy it. We're not really this family. Dad continues on his way. His daughter, Nicole, is way more understanding. She's not happy this came out either. But Nicole, is ready to face these allegations, but, she isn't happy about it. Sherry, who is back in talks with Carl after 2 episodes before not wanting to deal with Carl Webb, which I believe that's Carl's name, Carl Webb. She's back in talks with him to where Senator David Palmer is not happy about this. He's not happy that, Sherry's wanting to dig up dirt on Maureen Kingsley to make this whole thing go away, and he's just getting more furious with his own wife. To that other standpoint as well, we go back to Jack, who's holding Nina still hostage. They stop outside this oil field where Ira Gaines is forcing Jack to shoot Nina. Nina's, struggling, wanting to not have this. Jack comes clean with Nina on how they have his family. He has to do this. And then there's a part where Jack puts his gun inside the jacket, does a shot 3 times, and then Nina rolls down the hill. She looks like she's dead. The men check on the camera. Ira Gaines is satisfied. Jack and the men go on their way. But however, Nina gets up because Tony was checking security loops that he asked Jamie to put on a 10-minute loop for the office from 6 p.m. to, I forget the end time, but 6 p.m. to whenever. And he finds out that Jack put a flak jacket on Nina after he held Nina at gunpoint, to which Tony was firstly upset, but then he's like, why did he put a flak jacket on her? Nina then, as you can imagine, gets up and stumbles her way away from where her attempted killing or fake killing was established. So that is the episode in a nutshell. And again, I have to say, for, best characters, as you guys know, Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Bauer, always great, always very great throughout this whole thing. Also, you have Dennis Haysbert, Senator Palmer, very good interaction with his family and his reactions to everything. Michael Massey, Ira Gaines, exquisite actor, great actor, really did good in this episode. And when he was getting nervous when things weren't going to plan, Michael Massey just played that off so well. And this sadistic person is just terribly, terribly evil, just very, very good. And for that, who else did I say? Oh yes, Leslie Hope at the end, her panicking, trying to get help and to save her daughter, and when she gets captured, her panicness and frightenedness really just play out, and are just exquisite acting from Leslie Hope. Also, I have to give it, I didn't mention this in our initial review, but I have to give it to Sarah Clark, Nina Miles. The whole thing at the end where she feels betrayed and hurt, it just hits you in the feels, and Sarah Clark just puts on a great display as an actress, and she, gives it her all, and it's very, very good from all those actors. And to final thoughts, it's a very good episode. It's moving things along at an exquisite pace, and it's just entertaining. The drama's great. The bits of action that were in it were great. It's just very good, tight knuckle, and just palm-sweating stuff that you love to see in a drama, and an espionage drama where the political implications are very, sticking out to current time as well, and makes you think maybe this show is onto something, but I won't delve into that. But either way, what are your thoughts? Do you like 24 Season 1? Did you like this episode? Have you guys, again, even seen 24? Just leave a comment down below, and we'll get back to you again later. This is the short review, and deuces, guys.